You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. By going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com, you can make this possible. Lord, the white conservatives are really upset, y'all. Because Harvard has rescinded its offer of admission to Kyle Kashuv, a former Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School student and an advocate for gun rights, because of racist and anti-Semitic posts on social media. In an exclusive interview with Fox News, he offered an explanation and an apology.
Joining me now in a story exclusive to the man himself, Kyle Kashuv. Kyle, good evening.
How's it going, Ed?
It's going well, but I want to talk to you. I want to get to Harvard in a moment, but I want to start with you. What were you thinking?
Well, at that time, it was really a friend group where who could say the most shocking thing and most extreme thing for the sake of shock value. And I'm extremely sorry for it. And I wish I could have taken it back, but I can't. All I can do right now is seek to right this wrong. And I know that forgiveness isn't given, it's earned. And I know that, you know, the person who wrote those things is not who I am today.
The person who wrote those things is not who I am today. Really. Now, y'all, this is a screenshot of what he wrote. Let's see here. Nigga, like I'm really good at typing nigga. Okay, like practice makes perfect, son. First of all, let's also be clear. Harvard has done this before. Last year, Harvard rescinded 10 invites. Universities have done this before. Social media stuff. And I love this. This happened a long time ago. He's 18. It happened when he was 16.
So,
okay. So this is called consequences. There are athletes who have lost their scholarship. Same thing. There was a baseball player who had made some racist comments on social media, lost his scholarship offer. So there's no guarantee that you get to go to Harvard.
Yeah, they have a right to rescind it. I was critical of Kyle when this first came out. Obviously, his comments were disgusting. I saw the interview. I can't remember the anchor's name.
Ed Henry?
Yeah, Ed Henry did a good job of pushing back on him. His apology this morning was about as unfulfilling as the one that he initially made. I don't, honestly, and I'll be honest, I don't know many conservatives who are upset.
Oh, no. There are a number of people who on social media, your Ben Shapiro's of the world.
Yeah.
You have, say it again?
Charlie Kirk. Well,
you have Charlie Kirk. You have
Charlie Kirk.
You have David Brooks, who's out there in the New York Times, who's talking about, hey, people make mistakes. Can't we just forgive them?
Yeah. So all of that stuff is true. People do make mistakes. The fact that Charlie's not criticizing him, he's a member of his organization, and I don't remember Charlie Kirk saying anything about it when it first came out.
You can look. He tweeted about it.
Yeah,
he said, "Shame on Harvard."
Well, I'm talking about when the initial comments that Kyle made.
Oh,
I don't recall him saying anything.
David A. French of the National Review, in today's post-Christian, allegedly more tolerant culture, apologies are not enough. He has to be punished.
Yeah. Well, I personally don't know, and in my network, I don't know anyone who's really upset by this. What I will say, although as disgusting as his comments are, obviously Yale had the right to Harvard, sorry. Yeah, Harvard has the right to rescind the application of anyone or admittance of anyone. I do think that we should be careful that we're not going down a rabbit hole. I feel this, as disgusting as his comments were, I feel a similar way that I felt about the football player. I can't think of the black football player who made homophobic comments. I think he was the highest, he was just drafted. I can't think of the young man who was just drafted. But
the white guy?
No, he was black. No, I'm saying he was black, but I can't think of what his name is. We talked about him on this show.
I know you had the white guy Bosa.
No, I'm talking about who was a black guy.
Who retweeted white nationalist folks.
No, I'm talking about.
He's also a Trump lover.
No, I'm talking about the black kid who was just drafted who made the homophobic comments. It was around the same time. of the comments about.
Don't know. Do a Google search. Let us know. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, but my point is that I feel the same way about him, where people were saying that he should not be drafted into the NFL or should lose whatever he has, the status that he has, because of homophobic comments that he later apologized for. I think he may have been 14 or so at the time. But my point is...
that's really different, though.
But
go from 22 to 14.
Well, your racism, my
And
homophobia,
a year and a half.
so you don't get to gauge that for me.
No,
For me
actually,
personally-
I would dare say if you're talking about if somebody makes...
Well, I'm talking about me. So me personally, I can only speak for myself. When it comes to things like racism and homophobia, I don't draw a distinction between the two. So
No,
I'm not drawing that. I'm talking about the time period.
But
when you're
14 versus 16, that really doesn't matter.
No,
to me,
but-
because
Say what?
14 versus 16 doesn't matter to me when you're
2
talking
years
about
and
things
8
like-
years. I mean,
when you're-
okay.
We're talking about racism and homophobia.
Kyle is making the argument about growth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you're telling me 14 to 22, that's 8 years.
You didn't grow up
16 to 18,
Yeah.
Not just, I mean, I can't speak on anybody's developmental growth. What I can say is that had the person who recorded these screenshots not revealed said screenshots, he would be in Harvard right now. Those sentiments would be in Harvard right now. And he probably still has like some Google chat typey thingy with a bunch of N-words in it right now while he's about to take gap year, but after his gap year, he'd be in Harvard saying the N-word ad nauseum, as well as anti-Semitic marks, even though he's Jewish himself. So in terms of growth, you know, again, I can't really speak to exactly how much he's grown, but I think this is more of a matter of him being caught and him just trying to cover his ass for it.
Jason, here's the thing that cracks me up. All people who go, look, this happened, and he was just 16, and then they're saying, you know what, this is not right.
Meanwhile,
but
Rice is dead.
and then of course Ben Shapiro, big time conservative, he's like, you know, no student is going to be able to qualify. Yeah. See, let me help. Let me help. So put the camera back on me. To all future white applicants of Harvard, if you do not want to go the right of Kyle, this is what you should do. Don't say nigger. Don't type it. Don't use it. If you don't want to be in the same situation as him, don't be a racist. Don't use racist language. Because see, here's the piece that people just somehow keep overlooking. Do you know what it requires to literally type nigga, 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 nigga? That means that Michael Richards, when he was on stage, the guy who was on Seinfeld, I was on CNN with Paul Mooney and we were discussing this. See? This wasn't a bit. This was anger at an audience member. Mm-hmm. I remember he gave an interview and he said, I don't know where it came from. It just came rushing out.
Yes, I forgot.
Nothing comes rushing out that's not in. Mm-hmm. You can't say nigga unless it's in you. You can't type it unless you've said it before. The reality is, if Kyle really want to be honest, he has said that word for a number of years. The peers around him, they have been comfortable saying that because, this was an exercise where we were all like, who could say the most outrageous thing? You, Kyle, were with a group of people where this was common. It wasn't out of the ordinary. That is the reality. So if y'all white kids don't want to lose out on your scholarships and lose out on your what you think is your guaranteed spot at Harvard and at Yale and Columbia, the other Ivy Leagues, this is real simple. Don't be racist. Don't be bigots. Then you ain't gonna get busted. It's really not hard being Shapiro. But if y'all want to be comfortable being racist, I keep saying we are more than happy to expose you and talk about you at every turn. That's just the real deal.
And I agree. And you know, I am a believer in second chances. I will say this. If you're taking a gap year, Kyle, figure out what you're going to do to make this right. Take that time to actually do something for the communities that you offended.
Oh, hold on.
I mean,
but he
I
said
don't
he offered to work with the
Right.
inclusion office
Yeah,
on the Harvard
that's what he
campus.
said.
Oh,
And I love the Harvard.
said.
I love the Harvard clap back. Well, why don't you go work with some local groups?
Right. which is like,
Yeah,
and
it didn't
again,
mean anything to me when I heard him say
you know, boo hoo hoo, you have to go to Cornell now. You know what I mean? Like, oh my.
No, he
The
has to
indignity.
reapply, apparently.
Yeah,
He has
I
to
know.
reapply to everything.
All right, well,
He might have to go to community college.
Oh my God.
like
You
a
mean
common,
free college?
I'm so sorry.
Free college?
like the
Mario?
Kyle,
common,
I'm so sorry.
like all those people he was calling an N-word. You mean?
Kyle, I'm so sorry you can't get to go to Harvard, boo.
Well, the person that the young man that I was talking about was Kyler Murray. That's who I was talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the comments we do.
Yeah, I know.
But I will say is that, you know, this is something, and this is just a lesson. It's not really just for
Got
Kyle.
it.
This is about just how we, you know, so we have to talk to our kids about their social media in general, because I'm sure there are
Yep.
a lot of things that people, you know, I tell my relatives or friends, look, y'all need to calm down on social media. Like,
Yep.
you want a job.
I've done it.
So, yeah, we need to really be mindful of it.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Mark Unfiltered video in just one moment. All right, folks, they're back. MarijuanaStock.org is another great investment opportunity. Now, if you were lucky enough to invest in their last crowdfunding campaign, you know they raised a bunch of money in just a few months investing in legal marijuana farms. Those initial investors now own shares of a publicly traded company. Folks, now again, a lot of y'all missed it, but now you have a second chance. They have a new investment opportunity that is as good, if not even better, than the last. I'm talking about industrial hemp CBD. Now, for those who don't know, the hemp plant is the cousin to marijuana with a much higher concentration of CBD, which means hemp CBD gives you all the medical benefits of marijuana without getting you high. Now, until recently, hemp farming was practically illegal in the U.S. and heavily regulated by the DEA. However, the 2018 Farm Bill changed all of that, making it legal to grow hemp CBD in the U.S. and creating one of the largest commodities worldwide. They need land to grow all the plants, which makes for an incredible investment opportunity. And that's where our good friends at 420 Real Estate come in. Their business model is real simple. They buy the land that supports the hemp CBD grow operations and lease it to licensed, high-paying tenants. That's right. They are hemp CBD landlords. And you can get in on the action. You can invest in this crowdfunding campaign for as little as $200 up to $10,000. Folks, if you want to invest, go to marijuanastock.org. That's marijuanastock.org to get in the game. Now back to your Roland Martin Unfiltered video.